Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to teach you about distance formula or derive natin siya mamaya. This video is about finding the distance between 2 points sa isang Cartesian plane. So let's say we have a Cartesian plane dito. Let's just first derive the formula, yung nakita natin sa thumbnail. It's called distance formula. So it is used para makalculate natin yung distance between points. So let's say meron tayong x sub 1 dito and meron tayong a sub 1. Ito yung first point natin. Just assume it's any number. This is from any number. It can be in infinity also. So dito yung y-axis, dito yung x-axis. Lagyan pala natin guys ito ng arrow because this is just a segment. If gusto nating extend siya sa infinity, we need an arrow or array in geometry. So just put some arrows here. So para alam natin na mag-extend siya hanggang sa farthest point ng number and hindi na siya titigil sa kung anong number. Whoops, that's too much. Let me delete that. Okay, so this is the first point. This is the point of x sub 1 and y sub 1, assuming na kung anong number siya. So, let's call this here. So, ito yung first point natin. And let's say, we have another one here sa x sub 2. So, x sub 2 ang tawag natin dito. And then, we have a y sub 2 dun sa y-axis, sa itaas. So, ito ay another point. See, dito yung point niya. So, this point, x sub 2 and y sub 2. So, how can we find the distance between them? So, mag-draw lang tayo ng isang line segment here para mag-connect sila. So, how can we find the distance here? So, let's call this d as represent for distance. So, distance is actually a scalar quantity. It cannot be negative. Let's also delete let's delete this because it is a interruption. Okay, so may point tayo dyan. Here, connect natin siya dito. Mag-derive tayo ng formula on how to find the distance on that point and between these points. So what we're going to do now is draw a right triangle dito. As you can see, mag-meet sila dyan sa kung anong point dyan. And then, what we're going to do is find the length of the legs. Kung anong length nila. So, para maharap natin yung length dito, this is just the difference between the x sub 2 and x sub 1. Para makuha natin yung length ng isang right triangle. Isang leg ng right triangle. So, there you go. So, para naman mahanap natin yung length nung yung isa pang leg ng triangle, we're just going to take the difference of the points. So, y sub 2 minus y sub 1. Right? So, that's the distance. So actually, if we're going to represent this as a right triangle, we need to draw a box inside. So let's draw it here. Parang box dyan. That represent a 90 degrees, which means right triangle siya. So next, what we're going to do is use Pythagorean theorem. So this squared is equals to x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. So I still do not have the video about Pythagorean theorem, but I'm still going to upload it though. So sa Pythagorean theorem is the length of hypotenuse is equal to the sum of its leg squared. So it was proven theorem. So what we're gonna do to solve for distance is just take the square root of both the equation, and then we got this. So bakit hindi na-cancel yung square root dun sa right side of the equation? Because we're going to add them. It's one of the properties of radicals. So that's it. That's the distance formula and how to derive it. Now let's solve some problems nung may mga values na tayo. So meron tayong point 1 and point 2. Let's call this point 1 x sub 1 and y sub 1 for the number 2. And dito naman is let's call this x sub 2 and y sub 2. So nag-draw rin ako ng cartesian plane dito sa kaliwa natin. So we can visualize it. So what we're going to do is just use the distance formula to find out what is the distance between these points. So what we got here is the distance formula. So yung mga sinubscript nating value is yun lang yung isa-substitute natin here. So ang x sub 2 natin is 4. Ang x sub 1 natin is 1 squared plus ang y sub 2 natin is 6 minus y sub 1 is 2. And then we got this. So distance is equal to the square root of 4 minus 1 is 3. It's 3 squared, 6 minus 2. Forgot the parentheses here. There we go for squared. So let's just put it here because I do not have enough space. Square root of 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. And the sum of 9 plus 16 is 25. And mayroon pa lang square root. So to get rid of the square root, we're just gonna take the square root of 25, which is 5. Now let's move on to our second problem para ma-visualize natin kapag what if negative na yung point niya. So yeah, so distance cannot be a negative number, but using our formula, never siya magkaka-negative na value because of its property. So hanapin daw natin yung distance between these points. So what's the distance between them? So ang x sub 2 natin, we all know it's x sub 1. So assign muna tayo ng mga x sub 1 sa x sub 2. So x sub 2 natin is 9. X sub 1 natin is negative 3 squared. Plus y sub 2 is negative 1 minus 4 squared. Oops, what did I write here? Is that a summation? Sigma? Okay, squared. So distance is equals to the square root of. So makakancel yung negative sign here. Negative times negative is positive. So we got this. So we got negative 5 squared. So ang distance natin is 9 plus 3 is 12. So we got 12 squared. And negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. So we got here is take the square root of 12. So we choose 144 plus 25. Then let's put it here. And let's take the sum of 144 plus 25, which is 169. And the square root of 169 is basically 13. So the distance between those points, point 1 and point 2, is 13 units. So that's it. So that's it for this problem and for this video. I hope you learned something, and goodbye.